Looking at 2b, what we've got is we've got these data points. Now keep in mind, we could call them x. This is x1, this one could be x2, 3 would be x3, 14 would be x4, q would be x5, q plus 8 would be x6, q squared would be x7, and 10 minus q would be x8. Now you don't need to label these, but just know that these are all x's. And if I want to find the average, I'm going to add all the x's together and divide by the number of x's. And so that's what this formula means. Sigma x just means add them all up. So now what I'm going to do is take all my information and add them all up and divide by the number of x's, and that's going to be 8, and make it equal to the mean. Now all I got to do is combine some like terms here. I'm going to end up with, if I multiply both sides by 8, this is going to be 160. If I make this into a quadratic, again, continuing to combine like terms and getting it equal to 0, it's going to look like this. And then all I've got to do now is factor it and solve a quadratic. I find out that q is equal to -10 and q is equal to 9. Now in this other one, this first one most of you are probably going to have not a problem with, because again, we're going to add up all the x's and divide by n, and it's going to give us the mean. Now if it says z, all that means is they're calling all the data points z. The sum of all the z's is 4,598. I don't know how many of them there were, but I do know that the mean was 52.25. So now all I got to do is get n by itself by multiplying both sides by n, and then divide by 52.25. I'm going to find out that n is equal to 88. Now in D, this one's a little bit different. It says the sum of x times f is equal to 86, and the mean is equal to 7 1/6. So let's suppose this. What if I gave you a frequency table? Let's make a real quick, simple one. All right, and then I asked you to find the mean. Well, what you do is you take each one of those x's, and then you'd multiply them by their frequencies. You'd add those products up, and then you divide by the total number of frequencies, or the sum of the frequencies. So that's how you'd find the mean if you had a frequency table. Well, if I change this into a formula, that's the sum of all the x's times their frequencies divided by the sum of all the frequencies. And see, now we're going to use that formula to solve this problem, because you'll notice they gave me the sum of all the x's and they told me the mean. I just don't know the sum of all the frequencies. So all I've got to do is plug in the information they gave me, and in this case I'm going to cross multiply and find out that the sum of all the f's are 12. Try it. E is the same kind of thing, and only I don't have the sum of all the x's times their frequencies. But I do have the sum of all the frequencies, and I do have the mean. So all I've got to do is get the sum of all the x's times their frequencies by themselves. And I'll end up with 113.67. All right, thanks for watching. Hope that helped.